we're sort of heading into the thick of holiday season, which talk about group dynamics. I mean, right? Like a Thanksgiving table, a Christmas table, like there can be some high threatening situations around there, even in a positive and loving family. Like there's a lot going on there. So I'm sort of wondering, A, like what are some of the issues that you see come up around the holidays, and how do you encourage your clients to navigate some of the things that holidays bring up?
So a few things I would say that I notice is one, forcing ourselves to cultivate relationships with certain family members or be present at events we know we don't want to be at. I think that's the most concrete one, right? Where I don't want to go, but I feel like I have to go. And so in that work, what I'm really doing is teaching my client the skill to say, I don't want to do this thing and I don't have to force myself to. This holiday, I'm skipping out. Right. And I think that can take a lot of emotional work, and a lot of fear, depending on the family system you come from, because we know that for a lot of people, it's a tradition, it's a custom. So how can you not be at Thanksgiving dinner? But if you know that it's not a safe environment, if you know it's an environment that you don't feel comfortable in, the last 6 Thanksgivings remind you that this is not a safe place to be. Why would it change now? And so the first thing I'm often doing with my clients is teaching them that they have permission to lean into their own truths and not please their family members. You have permission to say, I don't want to do this thing. And so I think that's often the first issue that I see coming up. But I do want to remind people, especially those who are listening in, that you have agency and autonomy over yourself. And also understand that when you choose yourself, it is true that you're going to disappoint people. It is true that people are going to have an emotional reaction to that. And the other layer that I have to teach my clients is that we don't get to control how people feel. But we have to learn to manage our discomfort around other people's negative feelings. Because what happens is we say, I don't want to go to Thanksgiving, but my mother is going to be mad. And we tell ourselves, I'm so helpless, I can't handle my mom being mad. So I have to go. Instead of saying, I don't want to go, my mother is going to be mad, I acknowledge she is going to be mad, and I am okay with her being angry and upset, right? And I can manage the discomfort around that. So that is the first thing that I want people to be thinking about, because that's how we continue to engage in the cycle of people pleasing, where we want to control other people's emotional reactions to things. And the reality is people are allowed to be upset. People are allowed to be hurt. People are allowed to be disappointed. But guess who has to work through that? They do. We can't say, I'm going to change my mind now and do the thing I don't want to do to alleviate them of their discomfort, right? And so we have to say, I can manage the discomfort around their difficult emotions. And we also have to teach them that they can also manage their uncomfortable feelings. So Mom, I get you're upset, but I do trust you're going to be able to deal with this. I get that you're upset. I understand you want me to be there, but I also need you to respect my decision, and I hope you're able to work through your discomfort and your anger. So that's the first thing. I think some other things that happens is now what happens when you do show up, right? So now...
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of so many people are probably listening to this going, that's a great idea, Minaa. I totally hear you. Wish I could say that to my mom. I can't. So now what?
Yeah. And I do want to reframe that, right? Because I like to teach my clients we can say things. So again, our discomfort tells us that we can't.
Totally.
But we actually can. And so for those of us who haven't gotten to that place yet, who feel comfortable enough to say, I don't want to do this thing, I don't want to participate, now I'm here. I think there are certain things that you have to go into these scenarios with understanding, and also have some form of a toolkit available for yourself. The first